everyone. Welcome back to Into the Legit Darkness. I have Brett on with me again tonight, and me and Brett are going to talk about. Well, there's Brett.
Hi.
Hi. We are going to talk about a couple of things tonight. Actually, we're going to talk about three cases um, that I've been looking into. Brett was supposed to look into, but Brett probably didn't look into
No, I did.
it.
I read about all of them.
Okay, so let's start out with Casey Anthony because I seen something. Um, I just can't stand that woman. Did you ever watch that like documentary that she had on Peacock and everybody was like raving about it? And they're like, I think that she may have been right. I don't think she actually killed her child. And I was like, I think she did. So it just what it
I
is.
watched something about her, a special or something that they had. I think it was on YouTube.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch it because everybody had like their own opinions on it, and it's not going to sway me otherwise. Because I know like a lot of people are like, I don't think she did it. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, that was only obvious.
Okay, so anyways, if I mean, who doesn't know about Casey Anthony? So anyways, her daughter was missing for what? 31 days? Was it 31 days?
I don't know.
I don't know. There was a fight at home. She left with her daughter.
We're talking about
And
Alexi, right?
what? No, we're talking about Casey Anthony. We're going to start out with Casey
Who?
Anthony and Casey Anthony.
Oh, Casey Anthony. Okay.
Let's start out with Casey Anthony, and then we'll
She was
start
the one that
next.
buried her
Yeah.
kid in the backyard, wasn't she?
No, 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 no. That'll be the next one that we talk about.
Okay.
Skylar Richardson. There's a reason why we're kind of leading up to this. We're just going to talk about Casey Anthony really quickly. The reason why we're talking about all this is because I don't know. It seems like a lot of moms be killing their kids and then burying them someplace. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with Casey Anthony. Her
Did,
child
wa-
was missing. What?
wasn't she 2 years? Wasn't the kid 2 years old?
Yes, Kaylee was
Okay.
2 years old. From what I'm understanding, your child was missing for 31 days. Her car was impounded. Um, well, technically, I think it was in her parents' name, anyways. There was a foul odor coming from the trunk of her car. Anyways, um, so okay. So, anyways, foul odor coming from her car. This woman's living like her best life. She's out partying. She's, doing whatever it is that she does.
And her car
Uh,
stank the whole time.
well, yeah, when her parents got it back.
Good
So
God.
it was the trunk. I mean, it doesn't make it any better.
You
Okay.
can't get rid of
It
that
doesn't.
smell either.
No. Well, anyways, so here she is, like living her best life, out partying, doing whatever. Right. And she's like, I don't know where my child is. Like, she didn't even report it. Her mom reported it. So then didn't she say that she worked at like Universal or something? She was like
Yeah.
leading these guys all around town. Lie after lie after lie after lie. So from what I'm understanding is that child was like buried like 5 miles from her home, somewhere in that vicinity, somewhere from, which makes absolutely no sense, to be completely honest with you. But she said the babysitter had her. Remember the nanny?
Yeah.
That was, I think, like the first place they went. Like, how are you going to leave your child for 30 some days with a nanny? Like, just don't bother. Just why not just leave them with your parents? I left my
Yeah.
kids for like 31 days with my parents and still be able to call them.
That's what grandma and grandpa are for. You
Bingo.
leave for a month. Hey, let me have the kid.
Right. So basically, she's like, well, that child could have, drowned in a pool. It was my dad. My dad molested me. Big old sob story, right? My question is, how the heck did she get away with murder? Like I said, I've talked to a lot of people who watch that documentary, and they're like, I don't think she did it.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to remember what she got a sentence, but I don't think it was very long.
I mean, she was in jail, and then she was like, if her dad like was totally like molesting her or whatnot, I'm going to straight tell you that. She's probably not going to call her dad from the jail cell and be like, I didn't do it. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. Like, because I watched them and it's been a while. But what I recently watched, and this is what was bizarre to me, was the fact that she was at a bar recently. I don't know if it was just this last year or whatever. And she called the cops because some broad threw a drink at her.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So you call the cops because you're at a bar and you're drinking, and a broad throws a drink on you. That's what you're concerned about. But you didn't bother calling the cops when your child was missing.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. That's just
That's
my
alcohol
opinion.
abuse.
Okay, but then she's like, well, the only reason that like I went ahead and this drink was thrown on me is because I was dating a married man. That should have been your first indication. Don't date married men. Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they did find her. I don't know how she got acquitted. I don't even know how she got acquitted, to be quite honest with you. She must have had a really good lawyer. I mean, I don't know. That was weird. That whole case
Yeah.
was weird. Nancy Grace ripped her a new one, which was really kind of nice. Okay, so let's go on to like the next one of Skylar Richardson. If you guys don't know who she is, she was the girl who was anorexic, and she this is where it gets sticky, guys. All right, so she's like a 17-year-old girl, right? Like I said, we're just gonna bounce around here a little bit, and then we'll just discuss them all and whatever. Skylar Richardson, Brooke Skylar Richardson. Everybody just called her Skylar, whatever. She ended up pregnant, right? And her mom's like, "Oh, you need to go get birth control. You just need to go get birth control." So the doctor, she goes and gets birth control. Well, she can't because now she's pregnant. Okay. All right. So, anyways, the doctor's like, "You're like," I think she was like 32 weeks pregnant. So he couldn't give her birth control.
No.
Then she goes to prom. Like 10 days later after she finds out that she's pregnant.
Did her parents find out?
Well, hang on. Like, she never told her parents that she was pregnant. Never told her parents that she's pregnant. So she goes to prom and she's like, "I don't feel well. I don't feel well." Probably because you're in labor. That could be a while. So, anyways, I think it was like 2 days later, something on that order. She gives birth in her parents' bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah, in her parents' bathroom. Okay. That's I don't know. She said the baby did not take any breaths. It didn't do any of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
She buries it in her backyard.
What amazes me is how they cut the umbilical cord, because that is supposed to be really, really tough.
We're going to get to that in the next case because that one was a little bit of a shocker to me. I don't know how. Okay, so they are saying that like since Skylar she had an eating disorder. Okay, so the umbilical cord actually was not as strong as it was supposed to be. She's like, it just fell out. I don't think that that's technically how that works. I don't think it just falls out. Anyways, so
But they do the placenta too.
Who knows with that one? Because
flushed it down the toilet.
No, that was the other one. The next one we're going to talk about. That one just baffled me. So she buries it in the backyard. I want to know how she gives birth, manages to walk outside, dig a hole, and bury that baby. Brett, you're married.
Yeah.
I've had 2 kids. There'd be no way in heck I was going to get my happy butt out of bed
Go dig a hole?
No. Okay. I mean, well, I mean, how did she like get like Superman strength? Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and, but then how did she not know that she was pregnant?
Hey, I tell you what, there was a case in Rhode Island when I lived out there where this heavyweight woman
Hmm.
went to the bathroom in Walmart and thought she had to take a crap, and out came a kid.
Okay, it's
So
Walmart. Anything
yeah,
possible, and I
I
shouldn't
mean,
make fun of that because it's Walmart. I mean, sometimes you
she
wonder how
didn't
many.
even know she was pregnant.
How do people not know that they are pregnant?
Because she was I don't know about the part that you guys women have, but because she was fat, so
It doesn't
nothing
matter if
showed.
you're fat.
But I don't know what you go through when you're pregnant, so I don't know.
Okay, but here's the thing. Let's factor this in. Now, the person at Walmart, we're going to use that for an example. Was that baby, was it a stillborn or whatnot? Did that
No, it
baby
lived.
survive? It lived. Okay. So you're telling me that she did not feel anything at all. Like usually most women, and I know I was. So I'm just going to say that I was, or I'm going to use me.
I only
When
know
my baby started kicking, I'm like, yes, that is like the coolest thing. I was like, here's some headphones. Let's listen to
I
Baby Shark or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Um, but
I
how do
only
you
know what
not
the
feel that?
newspaper said.
But what I'm saying is, what would make you decide? Well, this baby's not breathing, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bury it in the backyard. And here's where the kicker is: she tried to start it on fire with a lighter.
Oh yeah, I remember reading that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
a lighter, because they were like, "Well, did you have a bonfire? Did you put it in a fire pit?" And she's like,
No, they found
"No."
charred bones.
Yeah. And then she named the baby Annabelle. Reason being is because she didn't know anybody with the name Annabelle. So every time she heard the name Annabelle, um, she could
I
go
know
ahead.
the doll.
What was that?
I know the doll.
I do too. I don't know any. Well, I actually did meet a little girl whose name was Annabelle.
Oh
She was
really?
the cutest little thing. Well, she's not little anymore. But anyways, Skylar Richardson, she's like, well, I didn't know anybody with that name, so every time I heard it, um, I could think of this baby. Well, then after the next day after she gives birth, now this I don't even know what in her right mind, she goes to the gym.
To the gym.
The gym.
Wow.
Because she's like at a, I couldn't get out of bed and go to the gym. I'm like, screw that. She's at the gym. And then she texts her mom, like, I'm losing this weight. And her mom was like, oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm like, if you know your daughter's got some kind of eating disorder, and like, first off, I will say this, her baby bump wasn't that bad because she was still able to fit in her prom dress that she bought in like February. So I'll give, whew, I
Yeah.
wasn't fitting anything. By that time, I was ready to give birth. I'll be the first one to admit I was, heck no. Um, but she said that that baby didn't take any breaths, which it did turn out that it didn't. So she actually, this is how crazy this one is. She just got slapped with abusing what was it, a corpse?
No.
That was it. It didn't matter at the fact that like she gave birth, didn't tell anybody. The only reason that she got caught is because her mom made her go back to the doctor for birth control. And
I would have
the
had
doctor's
everything
like,
checked out and make sure
hey,
I'm okay first.
well, right. But the doctor's like, well, you were pregnant the last time you were in here. What did you do with the baby? And she bluntly told the doctor, I went ahead, it was a stillborn, and I buried it in the backyard.
The doctor called the police.
Yep, the doctor called police. And then her mom, when her mom and dad found out, as she's in interrogation, she's like, we had the perfect family. Like, that is not something that I'd really want to be telling my daughter at that point in time. Like,
Yeah,
I'd be
no
like,
kidding.
you're in trouble. I mean, in a lot of trouble.
Well, I don't know if I'd throw at the trouble stage, but I definitely would put at this is going to change
But she got out of murder too.
her. Yeah, I remember. I think all of them that I read about actually, except for I can't pronounce Alexi or whatever.
Lexi Trevino.
Yeah.
I really want to get
But
on
she
that
didn't
case.
get she got sentenced, but she didn't get a real bad sentence.
Alexi?
Yeah.
No, she didn't get a sentence yet. She got it. Okay, let me break
I
this down.
I thought I read that she did, but I might be wrong.
She was charged with some things right this second. Now I
Yeah.
really want
She was
to.
charged, I think it ended up being like child abuse or something like that.
I think it. Well, I'm not. I don't know. I know she's got a court date coming up, but anyways, I really want to get onto that case because I've been really obsessing over that case. And then what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and we'll just talk about the different
Mm-hmm.
things going on. Anyways, there's this girl, and I know that half of you probably know, and maybe half of you don't. Um, Lexi went ahead and she was in the hospital complaining of back pain. Common sense. Your mom takes you in. Mind you, she's 19. Okay, 19 years old. And she rushes to the bathroom. Mind you, she is already in the hospital. All right. Like, I've just rushes to the bathroom. She spends 20 minutes in there. 20 minutes. I'm like, phew. Somebody's like, oh, well, she claimed that she had a stomach ache. That's what she was claiming. Okay, well, mind you, no offense, but she had like morphine in her system. I was gonna kind of back her up a little bit. Like, I'll be the first one to run with that. And then she had some diet pills in her system. I do know that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, she goes in the bathroom, 20 minutes, and she has this baby. She throws it in the trash can in the bathroom. So, we're going to talk about the umbilical cord because I know that we were having this conversation, right?
Yeah.
About the fact that they are claiming that she bit it off. Like it was
Oh,
like
oh, man, that's disgusting.
okay, like she bit it off. Well, anyways, I mean, because they were finally, like, I guess it was like a nurse that went in. They're going to get the key, and she comes out and she goes back to her room like it's nothing.
And I know. Yeah, I bet that bathroom was bloody.
It was. Reason being is because the I can't there was like drops of blood as she was running to back to her room. So they called for like housekeeping to come down. And like, let's be honest, if you're in like the hospital, it's a hospital for one. Two, those garbage bags in there aren't that heavy. Let's
No,
be honest. They're really not. They're never that heavy. And there's really nothing ever in them.
paper towels.
That's about it. So
Yeah.
I'm really anal retentive, like using a hospital bathroom because hospitals are germy anyways. So like washing my hands and like opening with the door and like making a basket. I'm like, I don't want to touch anything in here. I'm weird. I'm just weird. Anyways, the housekeeping comes like, and she figures, well, there's blood everywhere in this bathroom, like blood everywhere. This is what baffles me. So she figures, well, I'm just going to take out the trash. Well, I'm going to go ahead and, clean this bathroom. And there's blood all over this bathroom. Now, my question is, how do you just dump a baby in a trash can? Like, it's a baby, okay? It's a baby. Then they find
Oh,
out that there's this baby that she like piled, like she put it in the trash can, she layered it with paper towels.
well, can I
Go ahead.
let me intervene?
Well, here's the thing, because it's such a hot thing for me right this second. Like it's making me so mad. But go
Well,
ahead.
part of the reason I could probably see why she did that is if she was brought up as because she's Muslim. She's either Arab or Indian, and I couldn't tell you really which one. And both of them in their cultures, the daughter usually is given away to somebody else's son. They don't have. It's an arranged marriage, and girls are. I mean, that's all girls are to them. You don't work, you don't do all that stuff. You pay, you listen and take care of your man. So she's probably had that stuffed in her head as she was getting older, and she got pregnant, and that's another thing. If you're not a virgin, oh man, they shun your ass.
All right, but what I'm saying is this is a 19-year-old girl, okay?
Well,
So the
yeah,
hospital, well, here's the thing.
I'm just
So
saying. I'm just saying. I kind of understand where she might be coming from because she was scared of that
she
factor.
had a boyfriend.
Well, yeah, like I said, I don't know. I'm just saying if she's Muslim, that's a big key factor with her
I
psyche.
don't know with her last name, but I'm not going to speculate her race at that point.
Well, yeah, I'm just
I mean, it's a good
just
point.
just
It's a
telling
very
you
good
that
point.
she's dark skinned like that, and she looks like she's either Muslim or Arab or Indian. So, and they just a big different culture from ours.
Well,
How she was
here's
brought up in her home, though. So,
so obviously the housekeeper notified the nursing staff, okay? And now here's where the kicker is. Supposedly, they gave her a pregnancy test, and the hospital knew like 45 minutes before that, okay? But we're talking about a 19-year-old girl, so technically, she could have said, "Well, your mom needs to step out, blah blah blah."
yeah,
Anyways, so they're saying that she was flushing the toilet, flushing the toilet, flushing the toilet because they had to life flight her out. And because they were so worried about that placenta, she, from what I'm understanding, for this make a little graphic, she was tearing it up and flushing it down the toilet.
yeah, that's kind of what I figured she'd do.
Well, I mean, if she's like tearing off the umbilical cord, I don't even know, dude. I don't even know.
Yeah,
So, anyways, her mom then was like, ask the nurse after, like, well, we know that you're pregnant. We just found a baby boy in the trash can. Her mom's like, well, how big was it? They're like, it was full term. And then she turns around, she's like, Lexi, I told you about that. Told you about what? Like killing a baby? Like, why? She's 19. Honestly,
yeah,
why not just okay? So they life flight her out, and then this mother, okay, she's in the waiting room, mind you, with the boyfriend and the boyfriend's mom. And they're like, I would assume they're like, well, they were talking about the father or whatever, and she's like, well, can I see my daughter? Or like, you guys gonna arrest her? Like that's, I mean, that let's not worry about the fact that your daughter just gave birth and threw the
I don't
baby away.
I don't think the boyfriend knew, did he?
He is claiming that he didn't know.
Yeah, I would imagine if she hid it from everybody, I imagine.
Oh, but let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. She was a cheerleader. All right. And we all know how those cheerleader outfits are. Okay. If you go back and you look, because I have, and I mean, like, because I'm like I said, I'm so obsessed with this case. It's ridiculous. I cannot wait to see the outcome. You can bluntly tell that she's got a baby bump. A baby bump. I don't know how her mom missed it. I don't know. She's like, and then on top of it, when they're telling her that she had this baby, right? This baby, she didn't even call it, she's like, she called it an it. An it.
Yeah,
Okay. Like, you're at a hospital, you're at a safe place. If you didn't want your child, and there's a lot of, I don't know if it's, I know here in Illinois, the fire stations as well, is a safe haven where you could just drop your child off, no questions asked, whatever. And this, Brett.
mm.
This. They have all these signs all over the place. It's a hospital. You don't have to deal with your child if you don't want to.
Yeah, there's a lot of places you can drop it off. Some churches will even take it if you drop it off.
I mean,
But the baby.
right. I don't know about that, to be honest with you. And you may be right on that, but I do know that like hospitals, they are like a safe haven. Fire stations, Um, they're a safe haven. And I did see something very cool, and I believe it was Australia. So don't quote me on it. But they had like the fire station thing where you could just kind of, it looks like one of those mailboxes, but it actually has like a baby crib in there, and
Mhm.
you just open it, put your baby in there, and there's like some kind of alarm that goes off to let the fire station know that there is a baby there. So somebody is always kind of on call for that. And I think that's something that we should probably look into in the US as well. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, instead of, because here's the thing, and I know a lot of people are saying, oh, but you're, even though she was at a hospital and it was a safe place. Well, yeah, but at the same time, the hospital knew she was pregnant. Because a lot of people are like, well, and I noticed because I'm in this group on Facebook, and they said, well, it for her first baby, it took her 20 minutes. It doesn't even matter at the end of the day. Right? You have
Yeah.
kids, you have a wife, you know how this works. So I don't think it really matters at the end of the day, like how long it takes you to deliver your baby, as long as you don't kill it.
Hmm.
I mean, dude, I mean, and we teach our children, don't use your, to rip a potato chip bag or something with your teeth. I know my parents are like that. Like, don't do that. I paid too much for those teeth. How are you gonna? I just want to know how you physically rip through an umbilical cord. Like,
Man, I don't know. I, I didn't cut Madison, so I'm not really sure how hard they are. So
I mean,
I just read that it's actually pretty tough skin that umbilical cord is. So that's
I
all.
have. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's just bizarre. So they take her, the placenta's not there, yada yada yada. They
Yeah.
let her leave the hospital. Okay, they let her leave after it's all said and done, right? Because they want to
Well,
make
I
sure.
thought they called the police first.
They did call the police, but they had to life flight her out. I think for a DNC or something on that order. I can't
I
remember what.
didn't read anything about being life flighted out.
Yeah, she had to be life flighted out. And their mom was like, well, can I go? Because I don't know. It was like a 30-minute drive, so it was a lot easier to
Yeah, I
life
know
flight her out.
the mom was asking her, "What the hell did you do?"
Well, clearly. But here's the thing, like when she's doing cheerleading, her boyfriend's not going to notice that that baby bump is there.
Well, anybody. I mean, high schooler students aren't stupid. You know, and if she was 19, I'm sure she was a senior then at least.
She was, okay, but then her mom, if you watch like the video where the cop is like, "Oh, is he like the father?" They were basically she was like making a joke about it. She's like, "Yeah, of course he is." Like it's funny. It's not funny. Your daughter just gave birth and then just murdered her baby.
Yeah.
And then she told her mom, she goes, "It wasn't crying. It's not an it. Okay? It's not an it's a baby. It's like a whole human." Whatever. So then, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is where the kicker is. Okay. So they release her. She goes to prom.
She what?
She goes to prom. Like
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah. I did remember. I remember reading that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the photographer really didn't know what was going on, and then school had like supposedly some kind of order where students were not really allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna talk about it. Like, no offense, because if I was in school, I'd still be talking about it. Not gonna lie.
Didn't they expel her from graduation?
I believe.
She graduated. She just couldn't do the ceremony. I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But how can she go to prom? Why would you go to prom?
Yeah. Good question there. I don't know.
Well, how can the school allow her to go to prom?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay, then she goes because this happened in New Mexico. So the cops go to her house. Mind you, she's living with her mom at the time. Oh, she still is, or something on that order. Um, and they're like, "Well, we have a warrant for her arrest." And her mom's like, "For what? For what?" It's like, they're like tampering with evidence. She's like, "You mean at the hospital?" Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's like a no-brainer. Duh.
I mean, what else could she possibly do? I mean, she threw her
Yeah.
baby in the
Well, yeah.
trash can. Like, how did she not think that they were not going to find that baby?
Now, could you imagine how bad the city would uproar if they found out she killed a baby? She killed her own baby, and then got away with it, and then nothing was done. Wow, man, that
Oh yeah, but here's the other thing. The baby was cremated. Okay, which I thought was kind of odd, especially given the circumstance, considering this is an
I
ongoing
wonder
case.
what the boyfriend thought after he found out.
He went to prom with her.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. I mean,
I would have dumped her.
yeah. I was just saying. I was just saying. I mean, my God, man, you you killed not only your baby but my baby too. Because that would be an interesting one.
But when she got arrested, the boyfriend and the boy, like, if you really like watch the video, of when she's telling they're the cops telling me like we have to life flight her out. Like, I think the boyfriend's mom and the boyfriend, I think his name is Devin, was so shocked at like this whole thing that they didn't even know like how to even process it. Where her mom's like, she's laughing about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even a laughing matter. She's like, of course it's the boyfriend's. Really?
No.
Like, we're not worried about the boyfriend right now. We're worried about the fact that your daughter just had a baby and put it in the trash can. So, anyways, they are claiming that that baby.
You'd be amazed at how much crazy shit like that really does happen.
Okay, but
She
here's
made big news, but that she's not the first one.
no, she isn't the first one, because I think that she thinks that she's going to get away with this because they did arrest her and then
Yeah.
they bailed her. She got bailed out. Okay, she did. Mommy bailed her out because you know how that goes. I mean, as a mom myself, if my daughter, and I'm going to say this, if my daughter did that, I'd be like, you're arrested. I'm not bailing you out. Not doing it. You're crazy in the head.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that she didn't know she was pregnant either, and her mom didn't know she was pregnant? Like, come on. Your mom didn't go to any
Yeah.
cheerleading things?
I I read something about where she just wore extra large, clothing that was too large, kind of baggy on her to not show. But yeah, and then she just complained about it, saying she wasn't eating right. I think is what she said.
Oh, yeah, because she was on diet pills.
But
Okay. She
so
was on diet pills.
yeah,
But then they're talking about wanting to sue the hospital.
yeah,
That's the kicker, I think. Because they said that they waited, 45 minutes to say that, to tell her that she was pregnant. I'm pretty sure she wasn't the only patient in there.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh
because
yeah,
she's, you know what I mean? So, I mean, there's been times when I've been at the hospital waiting for like test results, and I know dang well because I have like my chart, so I stock it. You know what I mean?
hmm
Because I'm like, my test results are back, but I'm still waiting here 45 minutes.
yeah,
But the truth of the matter is just because the hospital knew, and just because they were on their little trusty laptops, and supposedly they're saying that it was like right across the screen, what difference does it make? I mean,
yeah.
she knew that she was pregnant, and then she was still cheerleading. You're gonna tell me that it's not a baby bump? Because
Yeah,
that looked like a baby bump
in
to me.
cheerleading clothes, yeah, really.
Well, yeah, and that's the weird thing. Like, why even bother? Like, just tell somebody. They're like, "Why didn't you tell me?" Well, I don't know. I don't know. It's probably because, let's face facts here, and I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that I'm Parent of the Year award, but sometimes these parents are not talking to these children about the consequences of it, and sometimes it's hard. She's like, "I tried to tell you." I mean, what the heck? People are
Yeah,
throwing their kids. I mean, they're throwing them in the trash. They're burying them in the backyard. They're burying them 5 miles from their house. I mean, what the heck?
yeah,
But they all seem to get away with it.
yeah. I agree with you. And like I said, I mean, they advertise like our church, the Catholic Church. If you don't want a baby, you can anonymously drop it off at the church,
All right, but if
and the
we want
church
to
will
get
take.
into religion there, though, if you want to get into religion there, though, and
Well, I'm just
we're just gonna
it's safe havens to drop a baby off. Another one is at the ER. But I mean,
Mhm.
it's just a safe haven. If you don't want the baby, no questions asked. Leave it at a church. Like most church, not just. I'm just saying, my church is Catholic.
Mhm.
They have that thing. I don't know. I'm sure Baptists and
I don't know. They don't
sure
have
they
like a
have the same.
sign at my church, to be honest with you. I'm sure that I could drop it off with the priest. I mean, I personally wanted my children. Okay.
Well, yeah, me too.
I mean, and to be honest with you, this is how do you not know that you're pregnant? I
Uh,
mean,
you know,
you know what I mean? Like, how do you not
well,
know?
yeah, I don't, yeah, I don't understand it. Like I was saying, I mean, there was that, case the baby wasn't hurt or anything, but where that lady that was a big woman, 300-400 pounds, has stomach cramps, thinks she's got to take a crap, and goes in the bathroom and delivers a baby. Yeah, how did she not know? I mean, she didn't leave a bump, but I mean, I don't know how.
You know.
I
Okay.
don't
I'm
know.
just telling you.
I've never been in a female's body to know what it's like when you're pregnant. I don't know the stages you go through. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I don't know hormone levels. I mean, that's got to be something too, but I don't know.
You know. I'm just gonna say that you know. You know. Okay. You may not know right away. Okay, but you know.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you have. I mean, not having a period's a key key indicator. I mean,
But then
what'd you think? Her period disappeared for a year?
it well, I mean, I don't want to get into the biology of that to be quite,
Yeah,
quite honest with you and be all gross about it.
I'm sure
But
you know,
you
but
know, you know. And I
yeah,
will say this, I will say this. When I was in the middle of a move, and I was stressed out. I didn't think anything of it because I was in the middle of moving from Illinois to Minnesota and I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, okay, whatever. One day, I thought I had the flu so bad. Okay. So bad because my head's in the toilet, whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go into like this prompt care, whatever. I'm going in there and they're like, oh, you're pregnant. I'm like, oh crap.
oh
Like,
crap.
not like, oh crap. I'm like, okay, now this is making sense. And I thought it was just like the stress from the move, right? And that wasn't that far along, anyways. But the thought never crossed my mind to say, I got one child. I just maybe just don't want the other one. Like, that's just, I'm like, let's do this adventure again. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't, I don't know. I just want to know how they get away with it. Like, I'm still trying to wrap my head around Casey Anthony. Like, you don't call because your kids like,
Yeah, yeah.
and then want to blame your dad. She's
I
like,
mean
oh my
that,
gosh, he sexually assaulted me. Well, it didn't seem like that when you were like, he was trying to defend you.
but I, she should have a murder charge, but I don't know.
Did she have a OJ Simpson's lawyer? Is
Yeah,
that what I heard?
yeah, she had, yeah, the glove.
What?
You didn't see. You didn't see, remember when
Oh, okay. Because I wasn't.
yeah,
No, no, no.
he
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 couldn't have
held
had
up the
OJ.
glove and said,
No,
if the
no, no.
glove don't fit, you must have quit.
No, I don't think he did. She did have OJ Simpson's lawyer. I thought that was like the
Oh, she couldn't. He died.
no, he died. What was his name? He was
Johnny.
one of the Kardashians. Yeah. I just want to know how she got away with it.
Yeah, well, I'd like to too because it's not fair.
Did they ever? I think she just wanted to
I
pin
mean,
that on her dad.
this kid didn't even get to experience a breath.
Well, I still want to know how you're not going to go ahead and, you know, you're just going to like go party. Like, that's basically what she wanted to do. She wanted to party.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you think about it, they all did.
Well,
They
like
all
you
didn't
said,
want to be bothered.
she was, she might have been Muslim, and they're they practice their ways a lot different than what
No,
we.
I think
So
Lexi was
she would have
Hispanic.
been shunned from her family if she was Muslim and had sex,
I
because
know, but
when
I was just
they pass their daughters on to whoever they do the marriage fix for, that's one of the keys. If you're not a virgin, ooh man, they'll murder your ass.
I know, but what I'm saying is I don't think she was. I think she was Hispanic of some sort.
I don't know.
Lexi was at
I
that, but
didn't. I haven't heard anything from the dad, so I don't know. So I mean, that's
I think she had a stepdad. I don't know about the real
Yeah.
dad.
Well, that
But from what
that
I'm
would be lucky.
understanding, she went ahead and she was able to go to Texas with her grandma. And we're talking about Lexi right now because we're jumping all over. But I think she was able to go to her grandma's in Texas, even though she lived in New Mexico. But if I were to commit a crime like that, and I'm saying I'm not going to because that is never going to happen. I love babies. I love
Yeah,
babies. I do. I love babies.
I do too, but not this age.
Well, I just love babies, but I like to give babies back to their parents because I don't want to change any diapers. Not my thing anymore.
Me
Way
neither.
out of that stage. But what I'm saying is how if I were to commit a crime like that, which I'm not going to, I'm just going to throw that out there. I wouldn't be able to leave the state. So how can a 20-year-old girl, she's able to leave the state?
I don't
But
know.
okay, here's where the other thing.
I know they didn't arrest her and sentence her for quite a while after.
No, she wasn't sentenced. They did arrest her and she got out on bail. Her trial is not yet.
Oh, okay. I thought she had the trial.
No, it's not yet. So I'm waiting. So I hope they do that live because it
Yeah.
is what it is. Because she's like it wasn't breathing. Well, then like I said, I think I forgot about this. They had this baby cremated, which I think is wrong because just in case they need something, but the baby already had his autopsy report and
Yeah.
he died from suffocation, clearly, so that baby was alive. She had that baby cremated. Okay. Then, oh my gosh, I cannot even believe this. She is wearing the baby's ashes as a necklace around her neck. She named the baby Alex.
Wow. She's a sick one.
Well, they do say that killers, they do take trophies.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
I
No.
mean, then
You
you
know,
got
and if I was the boyfriend, man, I probably would have a lawsuit on her.
no, they're too worried about suing the hospital because they
Yeah.
waited 45 minutes to say that she was
Yeah.
pregnant.
I found out my girlfriend was actually pregnant and hid all the time and then had a baby. I'm not sure. Being in high
Oh,
school,
please. You don't think that boyfriend knew that she was pregnant?
so
I
he
mean, that
had to know. I don't know.
he had to have known.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way he didn't know. She got fat. Okay, I
Yeah.
shouldn't have used the word fat, but she had a baby bump. Okay, her
Mm,
face was a little puffier than normal. Okay, you could tell in those cheerleading photos. I don't even know how she was even like helping those cheerleaders up in the air. I mean,
well,
I'd
you
have
know
been laying
what?
on the ground like my back hurts.
You know what, Reenie is my ex-wife, Madison's mom.
Hmm.
She never really did get a huge belly bump. Believe it or not, she wore a little bit baggy, not really quite, not real baggy,
You can
but
hide
you could
being
walk
pregnant.
past her in the mall and you'd never know she was pregnant. And she might be at 7 and 8 months. She just did not have a big. She didn't have a big belly.
Okay, but
No,
right, and I understand that. I completely understand that. And I'm just gonna say with my daughter, I had a bigger belly than I did my son. Okay, I will give him. I'll just say that. I'm just gonna use that for an example because I did.
yeah,
But did I wear big ear
yeah,
clothes? Yeah, because I just wanted to be comfortable. I wasn't concerned about how I looked. I put my hair in a bun. You know what I mean? No
yeah.
makeup, but my face is chubby. I didn't even care anymore. I just didn't care. It was about comfort. It was about the fact that I wanted to be able to embrace whatever it is that I was trying to embrace.
I
It
mean,
doesn't matter what.
Kathy had two boys before me, and and she had my daughter Maddie, but I don't know. I wasn't there when the two boys were born. I couldn't tell you how big her stomach was, but I can't tell you she did not get that big with Maddie. Not big, hardly at all. I don't know. I mean, it was she wasn't big, really at all. So she didn't even have to buy paternity clothes.
Oh, I didn't have to do that with my son, with my daughter. I
Yeah,
sure and
she
heck did.
didn't.
But
She didn't either.
but but
I
here's the thing:
mean, some I
if
think
she
some
could
could
fit
get
into
away
her
with
chair, but if she could fit into her cheerleading outfit, more power to her.
it.
But you're telling me that if her friends didn't know, She didn't tell her friends.
My daughter, yeah.
Yeah, she
How
didn't tell
she
her
hid that from
friends.
everybody's beyond me.
You can't hide it because it's like right there in the videos in her cheerleading outfit. You could tell it was a baby bump. It wasn't, and the boyfriend doesn't know. Like, he just didn't know. It was okay. He didn't know. He didn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then her mom was like, well, she always had, I guess, like back pain and hip pain
Mm-hmm.
because she was claiming, and again, this is what she said. I can't say yay or nay. I wasn't there, but allegedly, Lexi's dad beat her when she was pregnant with Lexi. So that's why she actually had hip problems, and she had to go see the chiropractor all the time. And they just thought this was just something that, she needed to go to the doctor for. Now you're going to tell me that you're going to go into the ER. You know damn well you're pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You know how far along you are. You're going to tell me that you don't feel that baby. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Well, she pulled a fast one.
All three of them pulled fast ones. You got Casey Anthony, who's like, I don't know where my kid is. The kid's been missing. No, I didn't call the cops. It was at the babysitter. I think I don't know. I worked here. I did this. I did that, but I was too busy living my best life, partying, doing whatever. Right? She could have just left her daughter with her parents. Let's be honest. All right, we all know she killed her kid, and she got away with it. And I don't want to hear anybody say, "Look, I watched that video, and I'm totally on her side." Okay, like I'm not on her side. I'm just not gonna be on her side. It's not gonna be on her side. I don't want to watch it. I don't care what she has to say. She's not gonna convince me that she didn't kill her kid. All right, I'm on Nancy. I'm with Nancy Grace on this one. And Skylar Richardson, let me tell you, my thing is, oh my gosh, I want to know how that girl is so ballsy. She gives birth, buries the child in the backyard, tries to start it on fire with a lighter, and then goes to the gym. Well, actually, just digs a hole afterwards. Like, she still has time to clean up that bathroom, dig a hole, put her baby in there, and tries to burn it. But she got that baby's remains back.
You have any idea her whole neighborhood had to smell that burning kid?
No, she couldn't start it on fire.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, have you ever smelled the dead body on fire?
No, I wouldn't. She said, but she said in interrogation, she's like, no, I didn't start it on fire. I just tried to use a lighter. Okay, that's not going to work. All right, it's not going to work, and you shouldn't start any baby on fire. Maybe you should have got your parents up and said, listen, I really screwed up. I have this baby. Now what? Right?
And then it was a good win that night because, man, that neighborhood would have stunk.
And then you have Lexi, who's at the hospital. And she just dumps her baby in the garbage can like it's a piece of trash, knowing that baby was alive when she put it in the trash can. Alive.
Yeah.
Okay, because this isn't like the first time. There's been another mom that has dumped her baby in like a garbage can. I don't know if it was at the mall or something like that, like a huge dumpster. You know what I mean? Like this is like a reoccurring thing that like happens every day. And I think that maybe parents should start having a conversation with their children, especially teenage girls, teenage boys, whatever the situation may be. Like, if you're gonna do the tango, these are the consequences, but make sure that, you can come to me if you have a problem. Okay. Like a problem, but at the same time, you got to be active in your kids' life too. Like if your daughter's doing cheerleading and you see that baby bump, I'd be like, we're going to the hospital. It's called the pregnancy test. You're going to take it right in front of me, or I'm going to take you to Walmart or Target or wherever, and I'm going to get you a home pregnancy test. And then you're going to do it right in front of me too. Okay. Because that's just the type of person I am. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to be that naive and say, well, it's okay. My kid's pregnant, but maybe she's not pregnant. Maybe she's just fat. Okay. She's on diet pills. She's just fat.
Yeah.
It doesn't technically work like that. Just saying for the sake of argument.
Yeah.
Yes, tangos do have consequences. We all know this. As adults, we do. I have 2 children and know how it works. Like I said, I
It's
love my
really
kids.
unfair. I mean, that's all I can say.
And like I said, I mean, there's days when my kids, like, I'll be the first one to admit, I've called my sister-in-law a couple times and I'm like, do you think that I could drop my kids off at the fire station? Mind you, my kids are older now. And she goes, they do have cell phones, so they will find you and they do know how to get home. And that's just on the bad days, because, you always have good days and you have bad days. I'm like, if they don't stop fighting, I'm going to take them to the fire station. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to do that because I'm just not. And she always reminds me, she goes, they know their way home. You live in a small town and they have cell phones.
Yeah.
They're going to find you because they do have your cell number. And if they don't, they're not going to call you. They're going to call me. Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't.
Play with it.
I just do not understand why people are just they're just killing these kids. I really can't. I think that teenagers really need to understand. Yeah, we're definitely against killing babies. We're not for that. But what I'm saying is I think parents need to actually have a conversation about the consequences of it at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to be open-minded about it because it does happen and you can't yell at them because it's already said and done. I don't know your thoughts on that, Brett, but I'm just telling you that's just my thing. I mean, I'm not gonna.
What?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, just if you don't want your child, and I'm just saying this, don't kill your child. Take it to a
Hell
safe
no.
place. Like, just take it to a safe
That
place.
there's my brother. He got his ex-wife pregnant a second time, and they didn't want another kid. So they, I mean,
it happens.
They talked to an abortion place, not an abortion, but adoption agency.
Adoption. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they went through that, and donate, and
Mm-hmm.
gave their kid for adopt, put their kid up for adoption.
But there's
And that's a hell of a lot better than, like you said, trying to burn the damn thing in the backyard.
well, not only that, but there's plenty of people in this world that cannot have children that want children
Well,
so badly, and they can't. And again, if you don't want your child, there's plenty of people out there that do want children.
Yeah, my cousin John, he he had two boys and he wanted a daughter real bad. So man, I tell you what, he was pissed off when he found out Mike gave their unborn kid to adoption agency, some other family. He said that he would have taken it in a heartbeat, and that and the child would still stay in the family.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, even Mike didn't even probably think of that, or anything, whatever. But I mean, there's people who will take your kid. They can't.
There you don't need to harm babies. Like I said, this happens like every day. Every day, this is happening. It's not just something. It's not just these 3 people. Okay, but this happens every day because it's just gonna pop up every day. So I just kind of do want to wrap this up. I do want to talk about the fact that Tori Westhoff has got an event coming up August 4th at Melbourne Manor. Tickets are $75, $85. Don't quote me. You can go to her. It is to raise money for the McIntyre Villa boiler. Okay. She also did tell me that you guys can actually buy tickets at the door at Melbourne Manor. Again, you can go if it's kind of one of those things. You're going to do an investigation and then you get like free time and do your own investigation. You can bring your own equipment or you can borrow theirs.
Okay.
So like I said, if you guys want tickets, if you want to just do that, like at the beginning, if you just want to get a hold of her, she's got those tickets. She's also got some books for sale. And I know that this weekend, Legit Paranormal has, their Black Island event and they have Matt Warner. He's always a good time. He is. He's a cool dude. That'll be fun. So again, next week we'll figure out what we're gonna do because I feel like we're just like kind of just going by the.
Well, I wouldn't mind doing a piece on family annihilators.
Yeah, we could do that.
like the big case of Scott Peterson. I can't remember his wife's name, but it was a deal where she got pregnant and he had a girlfriend on the side and ended
They
up
always got a girlfriend
had
on
to
the
kill his wife
side.
and an unborn child.
They do. They always got a girlfriend on the side. And
Yeah.
then they always like, oh, I don't want to be with my wife, so I'm just gonna.
I know.
I don't understand that. Like,
Well, you know, I had an affair on my first wife. And
I'm just letting you know that I do not condone that. So just
oh,
let
well,
everybody know.
yeah. You know what, man? You really don't know that you're going into something like that. It's a level that you go up, and they get easier and easier and easier, and then next thing you know, you're in a full blown affair. It wasn't done on purpose.
You didn't kill your wife.
No, I didn't kill my wife. I wasn't gonna. No, I threw all my shit in the truck and left.
A lot of people do. All right. So thank you
But yeah,
guys.
family annihilators would be cool if you want to.
Yeah, we'll try something like
Give me a
that.
call. We'll talk about it.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Have a good night.
You too.